San Diego FC doesn't ease into year two. It drives straight into the deep end. Tuesday night at Snapdragon Stadium, San Diego FC opens its 2026 campaign not in MLS play, but in on the international stage in the CONCACAF Champions Cup against Liga MX's powerhouse Pumas UNAM. This is where year two begins. Turnaround of a season, obviously, for San Diego FC in their first ever year. Just 65 days after their impressive season ended, they're going to start their new one on Tuesday night.
Yeah, it's going to be a great contest, I'm sure. Snapdragon Stadium, you guys are hearing this after it's already been played. But again, what you're looking for tonight out of San Diego FC and going through the future runs of the CONCACAF Champions Cup is just look like the team that left the pitch at the end of last season. You're not expected to be as good. That was such a high bar to maintain. You're just looking to be roughly where you were at the end of last season as far as competitiveness is concerned. I think that would be a big win regardless of the score.
And they're doing this obviously with the momentum of one of the most successful expansion seasons the MLS has ever seen. 63 points, 19 wins, first place in the Western Conference, one win away from an MLS Cup. That success has earned them a seat at the CONCACAF table, a tournament that historically hasn't been kind to MLS clubs. And that's why this conversation, again, when you hear this, when you see this, it's going to be after the results. But if it's a win for San Diego FC, that's great. And if it's a loss, there's a lot of other things to look forward to when talking about San Diego FC's football season this year. And a big reason is because of a lot of familiar faces on this team. And a big question of this is no longer Chucky Lozano's team. This is now Anders Dreyer's team.
Yeah, absolutely. And we saw how well Dreyer worked with Amal Pellegrino, who's now going to be taking up that spot that Chucky Lozano was in. You have changes on the back line. Guys like Pilcher and Bombino are going to be more of a focus this year, and they're very, very young. We saw how that inexperience and youth both helps and hurts you in the MLS Cup run last year. So I'm very, very excited to see how this new team is going to look, especially without what we anticipated being their face of the franchise for years to come, being a part of their plans.
Yeah, he was brought in here to be the face of the franchise. Chucky Lozano was, and now instead it's Anders Dreyer, who had 23 goals in 41 matches last year. He is now the face of the franchise. He's fresh off of a contract extension through at least 2028, 2029. Mikey Barras got a contract extension after year one. And it looks like they have finally solidified who they want to build their team around. And it kept a lot of the same players from last year. Cisniega is back in goal for San Diego FC. Ian Pilcher, as you mentioned, anchoring the back end. And then, of course, Anders Dreyer leading the attack. You know, as Anders Dreyer rose, the unfortunate truth is, and the very uncomfortable subplot was Chucky Lozano started to fade. After the locker room incident in October, Lozano was benched, then reduced to a sub role, and now San Diego FC plans to move on from its highest paid player. A very much a culture shift and not just a roster move when you think about Mikey Vargas getting the contract extension, Anders Dreyer getting the contract extension, and then the verbal confirmation that Chucky Lozano is not going to be part of the future plans.
Yeah, exactly. And also, Lozano got hurt at the beginning of the year, missed a couple weeks with, I believe it was a hamstring injury. So that obviously didn't help him either. May have been dealing with that for much of the season. But yeah, this is a club that is clearly, and this is how you know San Diego FC is set for long-term success because they had a plan. That plan didn't work out, and they were quickly able to adjust and quickly able to pivot away from that plan without staying with it too long and just letting it bury the team. So the foundation is here for a long-term successful run here.
The match on Tuesday again against Pumas UNAM is a match that is in the CONCACAF Champions Cup.
Mhm.
And with this will be two games that will be played between San Diego FC and Pumas UNAM, one here in the United States, one down in Mexico. And it has different rules. I mean, it has the aggregate now. This is the first time that this team will deal with the aggregate. Plus, they have goals that count more when they're on the road. So whatever happens in the game on Tuesday, San Diego FC has an opportunity to still advance in their next game against Pumas UNAM when they go back down to Mexico. And this is kind of the fun part of being able to, after having a great season that they had last year, now you get to play at the international stage. Next week, we'll talk more about San Diego FC, but it's good that they're back in action.